Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley showcase. Very special Lamley showcase. I'm talking Auto World today. I'm talking Auto World Ford GT40, that Ford versus Ferrari era classic racing car done by Auto World. And this would be a cool showcase no matter what, because I've got some updating to do. I have all of the releases, some of the Ultra Reds, but all of the releases. It's a model I love collecting. But this one takes on a special place because the next Lamley J-Car Auto World car is the Ford GT. We have a special Lamley edition of the Ford GT we're going to unveil today. Cut it open, show it off. Very, very excited to do that. But first, we've got to do this update on the Ford GT. So let's talk about the Ford GT40 from Auto World. You know, they do a lot of classic American cars. They've been doing the foray into some Japanese cars, which has been very, very cool. But this is one of the OGs. This is one of the original castings that Auto World has done. I'm going to try and reach and show these. Started with this one. They always release in two colors, and we've seen it done in their regular premium releases for retail. I can't remember when this came out, but it's probably been a good 8, 9, 10 years since this casting came out, when they were doing it with all the muscle cars and the classic, sedans and everything else they've done. This was the blue version. There was a red version. I'll just walk through these. I'll keep the older Ultra Reds for a little bit, but we'll create a little car show. In fact, I'll just kind of move this down this way. But they started this in some of the very first releases when you were seeing this at Walmart. They did the two colors of the Ford GT, and they did it in classic racing liveries. And you can see, the GT from back in the era came in all kinds of kind of different looks, different, I don't know if stance is the right word, but the lines were always a little bit different, with the different modifications that the Ford GT had. This is that classic kind of small, definitely the car that you saw featured in the Shelby story with Ford versus Ferrari. And Auto World has just had a blast. So those first two came out, then it vanished for a while. We didn't see it, and then we started emerging in the special hobby releases that Auto World was doing back then. Here you can see it in a Golf livery, except it's not Golf. I don't think they had the license at the time, so they just did it in the color combination. You can see there's no Golf badging there. And they released these as hobby exclusives that hobby dealers sold, so you couldn't find them at retail. In two colors, that Golf color, and then this one, the number 27 with the red and blue striping in white. You can see they took these tri-spoke style racing wheels that they made for this casting that were very appropriate. And if you start, what I love about any collection is you can start it's fun to see them on their own, but it's even more fun to see them as a collection, right? As it forms. And I've got it, like I said, I've got everything here with a couple of exceptions from the chases. We'll get to that in a little bit. So here's another unlicensed, quote unquote, Golf inspired deco with the orange wheels and the very simple striping. A couple of these were Miho exclusives. They were starting to do those. They did a couple. This may have been, or this might still be the hobby dealer models. Here was a very simple black version with the silver striping and those tri-spoke wheels, which were fantastic. I'm doing this for you for this video, and I'm having as much fun just getting these out and looking at them. Golf inspired once again. The diecast obsession with Golf is appropriate, it's earned, and it's kind of funny, right? I mean, this is the third Golf version without any Golf badging. We get there, don't worry, you can see that there. But these are still very, very cool. You know exactly what they are. The Goodyear tires with this one was a nice addition compared to the other three. Blank roundels look really, really cool. And then, that classic. So, and again, trying to decipher which ones of these are Miho exclusives is kind of hard to do, but we'll go. The number 2 in black and gold. Who was the driver for this one? I cannot remember offhand, but this one with the gold rims and the number 2 black with the silver striping is a classic Ford GT. And they revisit this in a minute. You'll see it in a second. But this is one that was really, really cool. And the chase on this one is beautiful. We'll get to that in a second. Here's where the Golf comes. So this is the 4th Golf inspired model. This is number 40. And there is that Golf badging. Then you get that cool tire that has that. We saw that in the first release of this with that. I don't know what you call it. If it's how they do, it's like a blue line tire, but it's on the outer edge of the tire versus the inside. And, because I don't have the racing knowledge that some of you have, maybe some of you can talk about that tire, but this was the most detailed model so far from the Ford GT40. Number 40, Golf deco, Golf actual Golf licensing and Golf livery and those orange rims, which just looks so cool, and matched it another Golf, this time in that alternate color, dark blue and orange, which is beautiful as well, the number 12. And I think all these, and this has the yellow stripe tires. I think all of these, you know, are based on or inspired by actual racing liveries. So look, it has this as this like family forms. It's just phenomenal. Can you imagine walking along at a car show like this and seeing all of these lined up? It would be amazing. Golf returns. Again, this may have been a Miho exclusive or an Auto World hobby, and just the details continue to come in even more. You have the Marshall deco on the back behind the orange rim, yellow striped tires once again, number 6. Just the detailing on these gets better and better and better, and the collection just gets more and more fun. Now, one of my favorite releases is these next 3. Kind of hard to see with the shadowing here, but they took some of the cars that they had already done or done versions of, like the number 72. They hadn't done a number 1 in this deco, but then they did what they would call the dirty versions. And so I want you to take a look. These were, I think, Miho releases. And if you look really closely, there's your number 72 in blue, but now it's got dirt and grime and wear all over it. I assume they did these cars and then they sprayed them. It's a phenomenal look for a classic Ford GT, giving it this racing kind of dirty element to it. Where should we put this one? I guess we'll put it here. I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit because this is just too fun. So they had the number 72 in blue that was dirty. Then we had the number 1, and I can't remember what this deco was called, but obviously it's a classic Ford GT deco as well. We've seen this one with the red highlights in the front. Number 1 offset roundel in the back, Ford GT deco. Gold rims once again, all dirtied up. I just thought these were fantastic and so realistic and so well done by Auto World. When they do these kind of special editions, it's just so cool. And then the best one of them was this number 2 that's all dirtied up as well. And I can't remember. Was it McLaren who drove this one? I believe it might have been McLaren who drove this one. The black and just that combination with the gold rims, and then this one getting all grimy and dirty. These were just kind of on their own. You can still find them, but they get harder and harder to get. And I gobbled those up as soon as I could, as soon as they were released. Then we haven't seen them for a little bit, and then just recently we had, well, there's a little bit of a gap that I'll show you in a second, but just recently, and they're just hitting stores now, was this version. So Auto World decided to take a left turn and do a very plain street version. You know, the GT40s had to be inspired by real cars, right, to race. And so this is what they gave us here. They changed the rims, gave it kind of this lace style, kind of spoked wheel, like a straight, and then they just gave it entirely no deco at all. Just, you know, headlights, tail lights in silver with an actual license plate on it, which was really, really cool and kind of a nice little change up. And they did then the other street version, a very plain blue version. I hope you guys are finding this in stores. And that one was really nice too. This one gets the Ford GT striping on the side, but other than that, it is totally plain. And look at that collection. But there's still some that I have to open up, so we're going to do that now. And we'll get to mine in a second. But I told you this is a full GT40 Auto World showcase. There's the OK Toys exclusives here that were sold via OK Toys. They're a distributor, and they did 3 racing versions as well that fit beautifully into this. In fact, I forgot my scissors, so let's go. Well, I'm going to show them to you real quick, and then I'll just cut them open real quick. And you have this gold number 5 version with the racing deco. They did 3 here. They did the number 2. Again, is this the McLaren version? But the second one, but this one gets the blue striped tires, which I don't know if we'd seen before, with the Goodyear badging on the side. So we get the 3rd version of that one with a little bit more detail, a little bit of a different detail. And then lastly, we get the first clean version of the number 1 with the red detailing and everything else on the side, which is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous model, which is really cool to see. Now I got to cut these open and add them to our car show, so I'm going to do that right now, and then we'll get to the chases. All right, all opened up. There's that. Pulled those out. Collect all 3. We're done with those, and we got to add them to the car show. These are absolute stunners, and we got to get on with the. I got to show you the chases too, because that's part of the family here. These cars, when you do the race cars, The chases actually kind of make sense. Maybe some of the tires don't, but they do make sense because they're kind of like these alternate colors. They could be like alternate race car colors. Look at how cool that looks. All right, so let's get to them real quickly. Just got to show you. If you're not familiar with Auto World chases, they are always red, or there is some sort of hint of red. And they take what's basically there and they turn something red on the car. The chassis, the wheels, the tires, the body. In this case, this is the number 72. I'll try and kind of create this little path through here. So they get this kind of candy apple red look, which is really cool. Sometimes they look very odd. Like this Golf inspired one, the blue turns to red and it still keeps that orange hint, which is quite an ugly combination, but unique, right? For sure. They did that black. Sometimes they'll do one chase per pair that's released, right? Sometimes they do them a lot, but just really depends. This was the black version. Then when they came out in the Golf inspired and the black, this was the one that they turned red, was the black one. So it gets that gray striping up top, which I think is really nice. Just again here, let's get them all in the shot here. I'm a little kid right now just looking at this. Like I just want to play car show, right? Maybe my favorite ultra red up until recently, you'll see, is the black McLaren version. And I'm saying McLaren, I'm just going on a whim here. Black turns candy apple red, the rims stay gold, and it gets that striping, which is fantastic. So there's the last one. And then Golf one of the Golf, the number 12 Golf, was turned into an ultra red as well. And so this one gets white tires, the orange rims turn red, the body turns red. Sometimes they color the base. This time they didn't. And so this one is very unique with the white tires. It's a chase. Some people like the white tires. Some people don't. You're going to see that on mine. But there you go. Now, I still have some chases I have to open. I don't have all of them. I don't know if I'll ever get them because the Ultra Reds get expensive. I have no Ultra Raws, which are incredibly expensive from the GT40 collection. I would love to get all the Ultra Reds, so I might try and pursue those. But I still have the dirtied versions, right? I have those Ultra Reds. Now, I'm not going to open these. Maybe, at least now I'm not. But there is the black version. They did, Miho Exclusives did a chase for every one of these for the 3 dirty cars they did. So they actually just turned the tires red, the bodies red, but they also sprayed them. And I don't know if you can tell here, but they are dirty. I'm going to keep these I'll put them back here so you can kind of see them. No, that was the blue version, right? Yeah, that's the blue number 72. And then black number 2 with the red tires, the red body, which looks really, really cool. And, I bought these, I think, on my own one back then. Or maybe I actually got these from Surplus Goodies. I think I might have done that. And I just have not been able to open them. I just haven't gotten myself to open them. One day I will, just for the whole collection. But, they still have the old box. Like they did back then. So those are very, very cool. And I'm very happy to have that family of chases. I have not been able to get the OK Toys chases, but I did go out on eBay and I bought this one. This is the most recent chase that you can find in stores, and it's a chase version of this blue Ford GT, and blue-gray Ford GT. And they obviously turned it red, turned the rims full white. And I can just open that one up right now. So so they'll put it on the blue card, or they'll put it on the gray card. I just bought the blue card. Didn't matter because the chase is the same, but the card might be different. But it doesn't matter because I'm opening this one up. So we're just going to go ahead and do that one. And there is the chase, plain red. Now with the white rims red, you could, and it has the red interior too. I just noticed you can kind of have fun with this one. You could pretend it is an actual Ford GT release in this candy apple red color. The white rims would be a little funny, but still, it looks cool and it just adds to the family. And I just think that is one hell of a car show if you take a look at that. Which brings us to the Lamley Ford GT, which is it's taken on, and I'll talk to its style in a little bit. Wanted to keep it subtle, wanted to keep it white, and it's kind of a mishmash of many of these styles. So to give you an update, I'm doing a 3-car set of Auto World exclusives with J-Car diecast. J-Car is a fantastic hobby dealer. These are sold exclusively at his store. I'll do a whatnot show and a giveaway later, more details on that in the future. But we've already released the first one, which is still available, and there's a link down in the description. The Shakatan Chevy, the 1984 Chevy Silverado that we did with some Japanese styling, so American truck with some Japanese styling. Wanted to keep it very plain, wanted to keep it very simple, and we just added little hints of you know, Japanese styling here and there, which was kind of cool. The Marshall lights, everything else. So we did that one. I'll just show you very quickly the chase. This one, I told you, they're ultra reds. They turn red. Well, the only thing that turned red were the tires turned white, and the Lamley hint on the Lamley writing on the tires turned red, and the chassis turned red. I have not opened this one yet. I will open a chase soon. I might open it once the third car comes out. And then, so those are the first two, right? So now it's time for the second release, which is the 1966 Ford GT40. Same Lamley packaging, except the background behind the logo is a little bit different. There's some information. We're only doing 2,500. There's some fascinating facts, a couple logos there for you. We designed these with Chad Reed on the Auto World team. He helped us with all three of the models that we're doing. I'll talk about the third one soon, but this is the model. And if you look at it, it has the same theme as the plain ones that they just released, the street versions. And that's one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted it to be simple. I wanted it to be understated. I wanted it to be plain. And so this one falls along the same lines as this recent release, the very plain street Ford GT version. And if you look at it, that's exactly what this is. It didn't get the spoke wheels. This one actually got the wire wheels. This one got the tri-spokes, the racing wheels, the thick tire in the back. And it is absolutely positively plain white. That same matte white look that we put on the truck. It is the exact same paint. That's how it looks in the package. Let me move this out of the way. But we did something kind of fun. And it's what shows up is when you open it. So I'm putting it here, and I have no idea if we're going to be able to show this to you. But if you look at the car, and I'll put it on the turntable a little bit, it is positively plain white. But look at the hood. Look in between those intakes, and if you look very closely, there is a hint, a wisp, a ghost of racing. We put racing roundels on this thing in gloss white with the Lamley logo, but we did it so, I don't know, was weak the right word, or so subtly, that if you wanted this to be a plain street Ford GT, you can be, but if you look real closely, there is a hint of racing in there. We put roundels on the hood. We put roundels on the doors. Let's see if I can actually even do this. And then we put one on the back. And again, let me see if I can offset. There it is. Offset on the car. Maybe if I'm getting that angle right, maybe I can just do it this. There it is. There it is on the door. So we wanted this for those that want to collect like the plain looking and really make it part of the Ford GT family. We wanted to make it that way, so you could have a very plain white kind of practice or street Ford GT40, but we also wanted to give it a little hint of what its real heritage is as a race car. So we put, and there's a little Lamley hint on all of these cars, some more subtle than others, but this one we wanted to be extremely subtle. This was an idea we came up with between James at J-Car and Chad and myself, and I absolutely love it. Here's the chase, and here's what's fun about the chase is we turn the body red, and that makes those roundels really show up so you can see exactly where they are. Wheels stay the same, tires turn white, and if you look at the car, and I'm not going to open this one, you can see that the roundels are there. Same style in the gloss white, they're only just put on top of a candy apple red body as opposed to a matte white body, and you can see what shows up. Only 52 chases are going to be made. This thing goes on sale at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Mountain Time. So that's 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern Time at jcardiecast.com. The very limited edition chase will be put up. People have asked why we sell the chases and not mix them in. Well, when you open up a case, you know what the chase is, so it's not random in putting them in. And plus, this is a way by selling the chases, and almost all hobby dealers sell the chases. They don't mix them in. In doing so, those who want the chase and are willing to pay for it get it, And that's a good way of funding these very, very expensive models. They're not cheap to do, and doing those chases really helps fund these and allows us to do more, and that is the intention. There is a third model coming out. Excited about it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I will just tell you this. Everyone's been expecting me to do the Japanese cars. It's an American car. It's a classic car, and it is nothing like these first two. That's all I'm going to tell you. I will unveil that third one soon. But good luck. jcardiecast.com. It's going on sale tomorrow. The chases will sell out quick. The other models should be available if you're watching this video later. Both the truck and the car and the GT40 should be available. Looking forward to it. Thanks, everybody. And thank you, Auto World and Jcar. Bye.